Hey folks, welcome back. This is the second part of my Saturday recording session here, and we're just about to start a new ship build from scratch. So the first thing is when you have multiple ships, they're listed in these tabs up here. This one here is the HSS Auriga, which is our starting ship. And by the way, if you want to rename a ship, you can click on this little thing down here to type in a new name. If I want to create a new ship, I can click on this build a new ship icon, and then I can choose what size ship I want to create. I'm allowed a total of 8 ship points, and a ship point is 1 square worth. So you can see that this ship is 4 by 4. That means it has 4 ship points, which translates to 16 system points, because it's 1 system point for every 4 system points for every ship point. In order to maximize efficiency for like building weapons and stuff, and to minimize our logistical burden, I think I'm going to build a second 2x2 ship here. Since I started with a 2x2 ship. If I wanted, I could build a smaller ship like a 1x1 or a 2x1. 3x1s are pretty stylish, but the 2x2 I think is the most efficient. So that's what we're going to build. So I go ahead and click that and drag it onto the map here, and then I click create. And now I've used up all of my 8 system points. Now I don't have to fill out this whole thing right away. It's probably a mistake for me to try to do that. What I want to do to begin with here is I want to just zoom in on my new ship area, and I just want to sketch out some basic essential systems to get my ship moving in order to get it to another sector. Let's do some measurement here. So this is 54, half of 54 is 27 if I can do math correctly. So this is going to be the center line of our new ship. Just sketching for spacing purposes here. And this is a square area, it's 2x2, so it's going to be the same distance this way. Okay, so this is the center of our new ship. Now we can start planning our build. Looking at the essential things that we need for a new ship, let's take a look at what they are and how much they cost. So we're going to need a hull stabilizer. That's the thing that we need. That's going to cost 4 infra blocks, 2 tech blocks, 2 energy blocks, some tools, and some system points. So we got a hull stabilizer. It's also like a 3x4 area in terms of its footprint here. We need a power supply of some kind. We can make a ship that's entirely solar powered, but I'm not going to do that in this playthrough. For now, I'm going to be using the X2 generator. So that costs a couple energy blocks, 5 tech blocks, 5 infra blocks, and the footprint of it is about 3x4. So we want to be mindful of these footprints when we're putting the ship together. So we want a 3x4 area for our generator. We need a place for our hull stabilizer, and then we need a navigation console, and that's like a 3x3 area, including that little place where they go to sit down. So let's go ahead and sketch out something real simple to begin with, not too ambitious. The other thing we need is a hyperdrive, of course. And we have these little hyperdrives, which are... They have to go on the back part of the ship, and they're, 4 by 5 if you include the space in front for a crew member to walk past it. So, putting all that together... So this is enough room for like 1 hyperdrive. Let's go ahead and fit 2 of them in to begin with. I like to leave a little bit of area in the back here between the back part of the ship and the end of the map, because there used to be, I don't know if there are in the current version, but there used to be bugs where it was difficult to repair a ship's hull if it got damaged and it was on the outside edge of the board here. 5, okay. So this should be enough, more than enough actually for 2 hyperdrives. We're going to have a little bit of a corridor going up the center of the ship here that's going to be 2 units wide. And let's think about the purpose of the ship a little bit. The main purpose of having multiple ships is to have additional weapon systems and additional sensors and things like that available. So I think one thing we're going to be doing with this ship is we're going to be introducing the sensor system that we haven't built yet, the scanner here. So we want to make sure that we leave room for a scanner in our design. And I also think we're going to be mounting a targeting jammer, so we can show off the targeting jammer, and I can talk about what it does, and then eventually we're probably going to upgrade this and make it more of a gunship with additional weapon systems after we play with the targeting jammer a little bit. So I don't think this ship has to be huge. It's going to need some space for the crew quarters, it's going to need some space for engineering, and it's going to need a little space for the bridge, and the rest of it is going to be just additional systems and probably some additional mining pods and stuff like that. We might have a little bit of a grow bed area so they can grow their own food, but most of the essential resources are going to be supplied from the other ship. I think we're going to put the generator area and main engineering right ahead of the hyperdrive. This should be enough room for an upgraded generator with ability for the crew to walk around it on both sides. Let's make it one more wide. We also need to leave room for airlocks and storage. I think I want... We want the airlocks and storage to be pretty centrally located, so maybe let's put them here. So that's going to be an airlock. It's going to be an airlock. And then let's put our storage just aft of the airlock section. So storage is 3 by 3 here. Yeah, so this is enough space for 2 airlocks and 2 storage units. We're going to want to have, the ship's going to want to have at least 1 shuttle of its own as well, and a pod bay. So we want to fit a hangar somewhere. I think I kind of want the hangar to be midships like here, but a little bit set apart from the center corridor. Let's go ahead and stretch out the center corridor a little bit. I think I want the bridge to be forward like here. So this is going to be our bridge, roughly. And then I think we'll have hangar bays on one side and crew quarters on the other side. I like that idea. So we're going to need a shuttle bay, which is... that's 6 by 7. And then the pod bays are each 4 by 3. Make sure the interior dimension is matching there. We gotta also not block the airlock exclusion zone. Let's just go ahead and build it out like this. How far out is that? 4. We can leave a little bit of flexibility. We don't have to design everything out. We can always change our silhouette later, right? Although it can be an interesting challenge to design a ship up front and try to keep everything within that silhouette. But I think that's going to be our hangar section, roughly. And then crew quarters... yeah, so we're going to have crew quarters on one side, hangar on the other side. And let's widen this even a little bit further. Okay, that's solid, right? So what things do we actually need at the beginning here? I think we need to complete this section. This is our hyperdrives and our generators. We're also going to need a tool facility, I realized, and life support. Let's have that be in kind of this next section here. And maybe let's leave a little bit of extra room for that here. No matter how many times I do this, I always forget something. And we're going to just build 1 airlock and 1 storage for now, so we're going to build up half of this section here. And then that should be enough to get us started. We're going to put the bridge up here for the moment, and then eventually we'll move it forward as we complete the entire ship design. So that should keep our pods busy for a minute or two here. And hopefully we can get that done quickly so we can get out of this thermal radiation sector. Okay, we have the androids. The Aquarius Hawk is now in system. They have tons of blue crystals. We are saved. Okay, beautiful. Beautiful. Let's sell all these. We can make more if we need to. Or, well, all but one of them. We don't want plastic. We could sell them some hyperfuel. And I think we will. Let's make that a separate transaction. We could also think about buying some finished blocks, like energy blocks, to speed up our construction here. I think we're going to do that. Maybe let's buy 3, and then the rest of their blue crystals. And then... Beautiful. So we're taking almost 30 blue crystals on board from these 3 trades. And while we're working on that, we're going to begin our new hull build. The first thing we have to place before we can place anything else is the airlock. If I go to try to place something here, it says no airlock on the ship, and it won't let me build anything. So let's go ahead and place our airlock. And we can start that as soon as there's enough hull available. And then once the airlock is done, the next thing we're going to want to build is storage. Now we can see that once we place the airlock, there's a shuttle platform that's created here automatically. What the ship is going to do is it's going to take a shuttle and load it up with the minimum number of blocks that are needed to construct the airlock, which is 2 infra blocks and 1 hull block, and it's going to go pile all this on the platform. And then another crew member, probably on another shuttle later, will come and do construction on board. We're done quantum research. Because we're doing a new ship build, I want to do the X3 generator. So if we could build an X3 on board the new ship, that'd be sweet. So we deposited the resources, and now another crew member is going to come here to do the construction task of actually putting the airlock together. And notice that the crew member can walk through this spot here where the airlock punches through the hull in order to do the work. Sorry, I forgot somebody had to do logistics to move the blocks over there first. Now I can place the storage, I think. Let's see. No, it won't let me do it until the airlock's done. So that can be the most time-consuming part of the construction sometimes, is just waiting for the airlock to be finished. You can micromanage it by, like, forcing somebody to come over to the ship and work on it. But I'll let everybody do their routine here. Let it be built at a normal pace. Right, here comes our construction person. Beautiful. Well done, Askov. Now, the airlock doesn't have to have power in order to operate. We're just going to leave it like that for now. I think I wanted this to be right next to the airlock here. I'm trying to remember if I left enough room for a wall there. Hopefully I did. If not, we'll expand the hull a little bit later. Okay, so we got that. Now that we can start building all the important stuff. So we're going to plunk down 2 hyperdrives there and there. We're going to plunk down a generator. Let me take a look at that sketch real quick. Trying to remember where we put our generator. I think we said it was going to be this section. This is always the hardest part of the ship build for me, is remembering what I thought I was going to do when I started building the ship in the first place. Let's see. So we want to wall this off. And let's put a double door here to make it all nice. We're also going to need power. I'm going to plunk that here for the moment. Yeah, I think we left enough room for an X3 here, but we're just building an X2 for now. And we also want to put in a tool facility. And maybe some life support can go in here as well. I think I originally had it in a different area, maybe, I'm not sure. So we need the minimum 1 oxygen generator, 1 gas scrubber. We don't actually... We're actually going to hold off on these things because we don't need them in order to fly the ship. We can have somebody in a spacesuit come over here and do the work. As long as they have enough oxygen in the airlock to survive, they're good. And then I think the hull stabilizer is going to be in this back aft section here. I feel like I've left too much room, too much wiggle room in here. Yeah, I just thought I was going to put 1 stabilizer in there. That's fine for now. One thing we can do to expedite our construction a little bit is we can set some transfer rules. Transfer rules are a critical aspect of having multiple ships and being able to manage them in a sane fashion. So let's go ahead and take a look at our rules here. Now, we've seen transfer rules a little bit before with the claimable ships, so we simply said empty out everything, and that's not really what we need to do here. What we want to do is we want to set minimums for the things that we think we need on board at all times. So we probably always need a little bit of water to run an oxygen generator. We probably always need a certain supply of energy rods, let's say 8 of them, to run the generators at all times. We probably need a certain supply of Hyperium to make sure that the ship can stay in motion. And we can afford to put quite a bit of that on board. We don't need blue crystals because we're processing them into energy rods on board the other ship here. And for the purposes of constructing new ship parts, let's put in a hull block, a couple infra blocks, a couple tech blocks, and a couple energy blocks. That'll just speed things along because we'll have the blocks available on board the ship when we want to use them. Those things will end up in the storage here. We walled in our guys. For the love of God, Montresor! Okay. We're good now. I definitely think I messed up the spacing here. I'm gonna make this a little bit wider. I was thinking this, I mean, this could be in the middle here, kind of. Maybe we'll do that for the moment, and then I'll adjust it later as we add more defensive systems. We're also going to need some power nodes. We should try to keep to the minimum for now the number of power nodes that we're using. Let's put 1 here and 1. Where does this cover? It doesn't show us yet. This covers out to there. This covers out to here, and then we can put the nav console up front. Beautiful. Let's take a look at our raw materials, just to see kind of... we have so many raw materials, we don't even have to worry about it, really. Now notice that because I have 2 ships going now, the resources are separated by ship. If I want to see all the resources together, there's an option here to show fleet resources, and that'll just show me everything. Oops. The other thing I might want to do is I can customize my resource display settings by clicking on that little gear that I just clicked on by accident here. So I can customize the resource display settings per ship, so it to decide which things I get warned about and which things I don't get warned about. So for example, on board my new ship here, the Melina, I don't plan to have any Energium, so I don't want to show this, and I don't want to be notified when it's empty. Same thing for... I don't think I want to be notified about missing infra blocks or missing hull blocks here. But I do want to display those things, and I want to show when 0 and notify when. Slider is missing here, that's very weird. I think our UI is a little bit glitched here. Let me actually report that real quick. Is it going to let me... Unfortunately, it's not letting me do a bug report because I'm already in the menus here. Let's try to open the resource display thing again. Here we go. So if I have less than 4 energy rods on board, then give me a notification about that. And that should be good for right now. We've got hull stability achieved, which means the hull stabilizer has been built. Now we still have no hit points on this ship here, or it has like 1 hit point. It'll slowly start to generate hit points over time, but there's no way to really accelerate the process, so we want to be careful with this ship. We're in a very vulnerable state right now. We have this notice that we have no life support over here. And that life support is probably the next thing that we want to get online, but the ship is able to be moved now. So if we catch sight of a hazard, or if we run low on resources, then we can move the ship to another sector. Let's go ahead and put in an oxygen generator and a gas scrubber. We'll put them in main engineering. And let's look at our mass versus available. Okay, we got a kitchen fire over there, no big deal. One of the logistics robots has come over here to work while everybody's on coffee break. That's pretty cool. I'm going to go ahead and make this a double door as well. Eventually I'm going to move this thing out of the hallway. Now the ship is ready to fly, so we're going to give it some time to recharge the hull as long as we're not in any immediate danger. Let's also take a look at the temperature, because we're in a radiation sector. We can see that because we have no thermal regulation at all, the temperature is steadily climbing. Right now we're at 100 degrees centigrade. So eventually if we start producing oxygen on board the ship, things are going to catch fire. Let's get a couple thermal regulators in there to mitigate that issue. I don't really need to have a lot of oxygen production here, just enough to refill the airlock periodically, so we can have like somebody on board here to navigate the ship. Let's start to expand a little bit more. Thinking about putting in a second oxygen generator so we don't have issues later once we actually start getting crew on board. I think let's do that here. Let's go ahead and put in a door. Now, one issue with this design, I didn't leave room for the crew members to walk to other parts of the ship without going through the generator room, so it's going to be a little uncomfortable for people working on board. It's not really a huge big deal. At least we have separation between the main bridge compartment and the engineering sections. We could start building out the crew quarters, I think. Let's see how we're doing on mass. We still got like 800 mass units before we hit up against our current limit here. But I've messed up this sketch a little bit here. So I'm going to have to expand our hangar section forward a little bit, I think. Because when I go to put the other airlock, it's going to do the same thing on this side. I'm not going to have enough room to put in the shuttle bay. Let's go ahead and remeasure this. That should be good. So we just need to add one more unit there. Okay, and then let's go ahead and activate our crew quarters here. Let's fill in this one block here. And let's build this out to the center line, I think. There we go. One thing that would also benefit us early, because we're kind of in the late game at this point, is to have a shield for our new ship. So we might want to think about building a shield console and a shield generator. Maybe let's go ahead and make... we didn't really sketch out room for additional systems. I'm going to expand this section of our ship a little, where our hull stabilizer is, and add more defensive systems here. I think that should be good. 5. Good. So this will give us room. We can put a hull stabilizer on one shot, a shield generator on the other, and then we can have like a main corridor down the middle. Okay. Take a look at our temperature, by the way. We're down to a modest 27 degrees centigrade. It's still quite hot, but it's livable. I think we still need some thermal regulation over here in the hyperdrive section. Let's go ahead and throw something in there by the door. Or maybe, seems like solar radiation usually comes from this side of the ship, so maybe let's put it over here. And we can put one over there later. Oh, we might as well do it now, I guess. Alright, now this hull stabilizer, if I move it, we're going to lose all of our hit points that we've accumulated here. So I think what I want to do is I want to build a second hull stabilizer in this general area. And then build a shield generator on the opposite side here. Which way is this going? I'm going to face this forward. Put a shield generator on the opposite side here. It's going to look a little bit asymmetrical from the outside, but that's okay. And then I think I want to put in another power node here. And a battery for the shields. I also want to fix our broken walls here. See if this is enough already to power the shields. I don't think it will. No. I need to get this other power node online. Burn through about half of the energy that we purchased from that other ship. Which is okay. Alright, now we should have our shields online. Now we just need a shield console, which we can just plunk down anywhere here. We'll move that once we actually build the bridge proper. I'm thinking this is the same ship that we bought energy from earlier, but we'll find out when we see him. I really like to get the shields online before we shove off here. Let's see. I'm gonna try to fill out the crew quarters a little bit. What's the minimum kind of stuff that we need? We need some bunk bed. We need a kitchen. We need bathroom somewhere. So bed, bath, the kitchen, bathroom, bedroom, we got that all covered, right? And that's pretty much all you need for a crew member to actually live there. That and life support, which we already have. So we could start loading some food over onto the ship. We'll just bring 1 unit of each food type for now. Oops, not that many. There we go. And let's assign 2 crew members, 1 to do navigation and 1 to do the shields. Let's also check on our prisoners, by the way, make sure that we're recruiting people that are ready to be recruited. We're ready to start recruiting Thomas and Roll here, and Inko. Good. So for now, who do we have that's good at shielding? Recruited to the human meat dispenser, that's right. Hey Precursor, how's it going? Yeah, this I don't know, I think this little tiny gunboat is gonna be more of a meat grinder than a meat dispenser. We'll see about it. Salute. Let's see. Gwen is a good candidate, because she's good at shields. Pascal is also good. William would also be okay. Let's see who's on our away teams. Gwen is not on either of the away teams, and she's actually over there already currently, so let's assign her. So Gwen, you're going to live over there. You're not going to be over here anymore, and you're not going to be over here anymore. You're not going to go on derelict ships. And then let's also do Pascal. Here we go. So we have 2 crew members for our new ship. If you have a ship name idea, throw it out there. This is eventually going to be our gunboat, but it's also going to be our test platform for new systems like the scanner and the targeting jammer. Temperature is too cold here, too warm here. Okay. Let's go ahead and put a thermal regulator over here by the kitchen. Make sure it's comfortable for our crew. And we need another power node, it looks like. Let's move that over. I think we're gonna have main power kind of in the center there, and then we'll make a smaller local node for the kitchen systems. And since this is our outer hull, let's put some hull walls. When people are getting ready for bed, they can watch the ships coming and going from the airlock. I think that's kind of cool. That'll give them some light as well. Let's check the comfort levels. We're okay here. There's not much light over by the airlock, but that's alright. We definitely have like an industrial alien movie vibe on board here. Oh, we got 2 ships in the sector. Hello. Aquarius Hawk, we bought all your blue crystals already. It was... Oh, they're leaving the sector. Okay. We're gonna buy all the energy that this guy has to give us, because our energy is... I was gonna say quite low, but this is actually the supply on board the Molina. By the way, when you have multiple ships, you can use these arrows to pick which ship you're transferring cargo to. Let's go ahead and sell 6 of those and a couple hyperfuel units. And then we'll take, I guess, an energy cell. We don't have any blocks. Yeah, good. So overall our energy supply is okay. We just don't have much of it on board the smaller ship here. Crew's not sleeping in their beds because the temperature is too high. Because we have no power. That should fix it. Still a bit warm across the board here. We should probably put some thermal regulation in our generator room. That'll help, I think. Opening a window, letting some of that cool space air in could help. That's true, yeah. Should we open this? No. Let's not do that. The crew members might get upset. Maybe just a little peep. Nope. It's fine. Everything's fine. False alarm. Nothing to see here. Alright, let's move to the next sector. Oh, we need to bring both ships this time, because this is not a claimable ship. This is an actual ship that's ours that we built. And we're continuing our trip through the resource-rich sector here. There's nothing over there. Now, where were we headed? We wanted to check out this one more satellite area before we continue on. We could potentially buy blue crystals from both of these guys. So I'm going to stop in this sector. Well, at least we'll check with the military alliance. Caravan. It's going to sell us some blue crystals. Could also buy some energy blocks from them if we wanted to. And we'll sell them some pistols because we're not going to use those anyway. Let's go ahead and buy like 6 energy blocks because I think we're going to end up using them. Yep, perfect. So now we have a more or less healthy crew set up on board our ship here. Hopefully these guys like each other. I didn't think to check on that. Let's check. Conditions or relationship between Pascal and Gwen is at 2. That's not bad. We can think about building a jukebox or something on board to help them get along. I think I also want to start working on the hangar bay so that these guys have something to do. We can at least get a pod bay online. So for now, we'll just build it like this, and we'll have kind of a weird Y-wing configuration going on. We've recruited a prisoner, Roll. Welcome aboard, Roll. Okay, so we're gonna fit in a shuttle bay here. Oh, not quite. I have a feeling we didn't leave enough shuttle bay room, because I wanted to also put at least one pod bay on this ship here. But I don't want it to be in the center corridor, so maybe let's widen this out a little bit. I also think we want our crew quarters to be a little bit more spacious in the end. Where do we want our pod bay to be? So this would be enough for two pod bays facing each other. I think that's fine. We're at 1337 mass units. And let's move. I'm going to move this out here and have the pod bays on the inside so that they're closer to the center of the ship. Could also have them face this way. It doesn't really make a difference one way or the other. I think they look cooler this way. Let's go ahead and... Okay, while we're working on that, let's move on to the next sector. Make sure both ships are ready to jump before we go. Here we are. And here we're picking up another huge pile of blue crystals. Let's interrupt the Merchant Federation. There we go. Interesting. Actually, I have 2 Merchant Federation ships in this sector. We also pick up some ice here. Let's see how much energy we can get from these guys. How are we doing on carbon? We're at 36 still. Fill the rest of this with ice. The Eye of Sorrow. Let's see, that's 10, and we're just going to buy all their energy crystals, and then we'll be good for days here. Good thing about selling them some Hyperium. They're still not... None of them are giving us good prices, though. And of course we're losing our shields because we're in a nebula. Yeah, we need power for our shuttle bay. I think I was going to move one of these nodes before. No, it was this one. We're not ready to move that one yet because there's no space ahead of it to move it to. Here we go. Let's put one electronics component on board here for fixing shuttles and things. Just saying we needed... Yeah, that should be good. So once one of these craft is completed, then we can we can see our new shuttles already in service. Carrying crew members back and forth. Did we already build this? I think we've already built this and it's already mining. This one craft in this pod bay here. Check our comfort levels. We still have no light in the middle here. Must be weird to have a bedroom that's just like a bunch of furniture against one wall and then a big open room with like a navigation console in the middle. But hey, as long as this area is comfortable and well lit, that's what matters. Have all the essentials. We could even put in a bathroom window if we wanted to. Let's go ahead and stick one in there. There we go. We're almost at our mass limit here in the Molina. We're getting close. Let's go ahead and let's see. I think we're actually done all of our mining here because we've got so many pods online now. Let's move to the next sector. When we get there, we'll start some additional hull construction and expand our hyperdrives on board the Molina. more good stuff. Since our shield's are already down, let's go to the other nebula sector first. That way we don't waste as many energy cells recharging and then losing them again. I notice we're bringing all of our resources on board the Auriga when we mine here. There is an option we could start bringing stuff on board the Melina, but all of our industry is on the Auriga, so it doesn't make a lot of sense to have stuff on board the Melina, really. Okay, now let's start thinking about expanding our hyperdrive footprint. So these lower grade hyperdrives can overlap somewhat, so I want this to kind of not be completely flush with the other thing, so that is to say flush with this section. It's like one of those little monsters from Space Invaders. Thank you. I take that as a compliment. Alright, let's see. Okay, we're just going to load it up with some more hyperdrives here so we don't have to worry about this hyperdrive capacity issue for a while. We could crunch these in one closer together if we wanted to, but then they'll be asymmetrical, and I like them the way they are. But I do want to crunch the outer ones in slightly. Maybe let's increase the amount of resources that we have on here at one time to speed things up a little. I'll increase our infra block count to like 7. Let's go to 3 tech blocks, 3 energy blocks. I think 2 soft blocks. Maybe let's do 3 soft blocks, 2 hull blocks. That'll be alright. When you construct stuff on one ship, they will automatically bring resources from the other ship, but it takes longer that way because they have to queue logistics tasks to bring it over from one ship to the other, and then a shuttle thing has to be scheduled, and then they need another logistics task to move it from the airlock to storage, and then it goes from storage to being in use. So it's a little more efficient to have the resources already on board in storage so they can just go directly to the thing that I'm building. There we go. This area back here is blocked off, which I don't like so much. Just wasted space is all. Maybe we'll make that an extra gas scrubber or something. Just so that we don't get that notification all the time. Okay, so now that we've got the basics of the ship established and we have some room, some mass to work with, let's think about where we're going to put our ship's systems, like the guns and turrets and all that kind of stuff. I'm thinking what I want to do is I want to try to have the defensive ship's systems kind of in the aft, in the middle, and along the sides, and then I want to have like weapons batteries that are more forward, you know, maybe in an arc like that. So for now, I want to expand the bridge to its final footprint. So we get that built out. I'm going to expand the crew quarters to its final footprint. And then let's sketch out some room for the targeting jammer and the sensors, which are the first systems that I want to mount. I think it would be kind of cool to have the sensors up front. Just makes sense to me. You want to leave a 3x4 so there's room for to wall off the sensor and make it separate, and maybe put a power node or a battery next to it. So that's pretty good for the sensors. And then for the targeting jammer, that's a defensive system, so I want it to be back here with the shields or somewhere like that. Currently we have the generator here. So that's kind of like the power section. I kind of like having it here, though. Let's have it here. Yeah, that's going to be our targeting jammer, which we actually haven't done the research for yet. So that'll be coming up as soon as we finish researching the X3. You also got to keep an eye on our temperature as we keep expanding the ship's hull. Make sure that it's comfortable for our crew. I'm going to provide some more thermal regulation outside the shuttle bay here. That's sort of in the center area. I want to provide a walled Carter eventually. It's going to go and enclose the airlock section, kind of like that. Right now the shield generator node is in the way. I'm going to move that over here.
My God, he's wet.
Oh, it's the bots again, I think. I would say thanks for the follow, but I don't think it's an actual person. I'm pretty sure that's a bot. Those things keep showing up on my stream for some reason. This Haas 00312 guy. I just realized I completely walled off the airlock with no doors. Let's maybe fix that. Oh, I can't put the door there because there's a power node there. So this is going to go here. This is going to be walled off. It's going to be a door between the airlock and storage. I don't know what's going to go back here yet. We're going to have to fit something into this little space. I think that was originally going to be life support or something, I forget. And then I think I want another door going to storage that's too wide over here. And this should probably also be a door. We want storage to be accessible from all directions. This way we can control which, if we need to do an emergency vent to deal with a fire on board, we can control which sections of the ship are exposed. We can put a fire door here for that reason as well. Can't put it exactly there because of that power node. Let's put one back here. Do I? Too small an area. It's a shame that we can't. We might want to shuffle this power node back a little bit. But that breaks a bunch of connections, so I don't want to do that. Let's just make it a single door. For now. Okay, we have the X3 research. Let's get our targeting jammer research done so I can show you how that works. This is accessible only through the bathroom. We annihilated our windows here because we expanded our crew quarters section. Let's see. I think I want the kitchen to be closer to the outside, with the beds more in the middle, so the crew can get to the main area of the ship faster. They have to get up out of bed for a red alert. So let's go ahead and put a door here. Actually, I'm going to put it a little more central just for aesthetics. So we can also have a light on this side. There we go. Then we're going to close off the bathroom here. And we can have like a little bit of a breakfast bar area here. Okay, we've completely vacuumed this entire sector dry. Look at all these empty nodes that we've done in a couple of hours. We're up to 72 energy, so we're basically golden for the rest of the game here in terms of our energy consumption. Let's take a look at our water vapor over on board the Auriga. We're still up in the 240s, so I want to build a third water collector. I'm going to rotate this one a little bit over here so we can fit a third one right next to it. There we go. I'd also think about having a water collector over on board the Molina. Fire in our industry, we're good. Since we got the X3 research done, we should upgrade our ships to an X3. This one's running exclusively off of the generator, so this is going to be the first to get upgraded. Let's check our inventory and see if we have enough blocks. Looks like we do. We're going to go ahead and just let everything on the ship shut down. This is a bit of a risky thing to do, but we have enough manpower to get it done. And the new generator is online. Let's see how much, just out of curiosity, how low our oxygen and our temperature and everything fell. So we're down to 15 degrees centigrade. We might have gotten to a point if we'd taken much longer doing that, where crew members had to go in spacesuits, but there wasn't any huge hazard. Okay. Yeah, I think we're good now. So we have a more efficient generator on board the ship here. And I think we want to upgrade this one as well. This one is not essential to our power grid, so it's a good candidate for a rapid upgrade. So we are running partly off of solar, and we have another generator there as a backup. So it should be no problem to upgrade quickly. We might have to move this storage over slightly in order to make room to get around the new upgraded generator in this section once we finish the upgrade, the second upgrade. There we go. Another fire on board. Let's wait till that gets resolved before we demolish the generator. There we go. Okay. So we're going to empty out this storage. We should move to another sector because there's nothing for us here right now, technically. I think we need more grow beds. I think we're not keeping up with our food requirements for the crew. So we're going to take care of that shortly. We might want to introduce a grow bed on board the second ship here so that our crew members have something to work on while they're not involved in a firefight or something. I also want to have somebody who's good at ops move over to the second ship, so we can handle all of our ops from the second ship. Okay. Removing this guy. That one's empty now. We're just going to bump that over one space like this. I'm going to move this wall down here to make a little bit more room in this area. Is that enough? No, we went one more over, sorry. We should also probably have a med bed on board our second ship here. So I don't know if the crew members will go from one ship to the other to get healed. One of our craft got damaged in the meteor shower. Okay, we are good. Let's go ahead and dismantle this and put up the X3. Maybe this was overkill. Maybe I didn't actually have to move all that stuff. But now we get a nice open area where we can move around the generator in all directions, so that's a nice benefit. This ship now has way more power production than it needs. Now notice my power here, I'm putting the generators at the very end of my long daisy chain of power nodes as much as possible, because I want primary power to be provided from the solar panels. Ideally, the generators should only be tapped when the solar panels can't provide enough power for the ship to run. We can see that the solar panels on the starboard side are being used here, because energy from them is being diminished. But the ones on the port side are not really getting much use, which is unfortunate. See, they're getting used a little bit. How's our raw materials? We're still at 40 base metals. I don't think we need to collect any more base metal. Went to an old school drive-in movie theater on Friday night, my girlfriend and I. It was that Legend of the Ten Rings movie. It's a pretty good movie, but they made you turn your car off during the movie, so we're sitting out there in the field with our car parked and the engine and everything off, and it got like kind of warm and humid inside the car, so we had to open the windows periodically to let the cold out. And of course, since we're parked out in a grassy field, there's mosquitoes, so I got like bites all over my legs. So it was a really good time though. It's a fun movie, and I really enjoyed the experience of like sitting in the car watching a movie, because we could kind of like talk with each other without, worrying about interrupting other people and disturbing their movie experience. And we could, have all of our usual stuff that we have with us when we're in the car, like our backpacks and our jackets and everything close at hand. So it's pretty nice. I would definitely do that again. Okay, so we need more grow beds, and we also need to expand our ship systems here. I think I had sketched out areas to put the new systems, but I haven't actually activated the sketch yet. Let's go ahead and do that. And let's also move our bridge stations to a more permanent location here. I'm thinking that I want them to be kind of side by side like that. But maybe we can put them all up front. Let's see. Maybe we can put them in a row at the center. I may have left entirely too much room for bridge stations. Okay, so this forward area here we said was going to be our scanner. Scanner's pretty interesting. Let's see what it does. Making sure these are covered. I think this power is going to cover that, but it does cover the front wall of the bridge. So we actually want to move this a little bit, I think. Then we're going to want to put another smaller local node in. I don't think the scanner uses much power. But we could put in a power node here if we wanted to. Get our we don't need a weapons console currently, but we do need ops because we need an ops console in order to man the sensor. I'm gonna put them back to back like this, I guess. I don't like where this power node is positioned relative to my construction here. It seems awkward. Maybe that'll be okay. Trying to kind of preserve our main carder here. But these power nodes keep getting in the way. I think I want a double door coming through here for crew members to quickly get to the bridge. And I don't know what this little carder over here is going to be, if anything. Maybe we'll just make this carder a little bit wider in this section. and then this is going to be our second airlock eventually. Let's go ahead and build a second airlock. And I think this needs to be a door then. Okay, this is not on grid, so let's put a power node in for that. This could also provide backup power for navigation, which is a nice feature to have. We're doing mining. We're done mining in this sector. Do we have any more energy available for us here? I mean, we have 70. We don't really need any more. I really want to move this power node because I don't like having this Carter blocked off right where the door is. I want to have this be a double door. Let's go ahead and move that. Can we put this in the airlock section or somewhere else? This is a thing that I sometimes forget when I'm building a ship, is remembering to leave space for the power nodes. It's kind of an important feature. We could put one in this corner here if that helps. I'm entirely sure if it does. Let's put one on each side here. See what that gets us. We could have a node coming up to here. And another one here. I think that'll do it, and then we can get rid of this node. I think we need a third crew member on board here. Pascal is also injured. Let's check him out here. He has a concussion that's getting worse currently. Let's go ahead and plunk down a medbed somewhere. I think we're going to put that here outside the crew quarters for now. Let's put a whole window. Guess we can do the same thing on this side here. So this is now all tied together. We can have these changed to one-way links to drain available power into the grid. And then we can retire this node. Okay, and we need some medical supplies on board here. I don't have that many medical supplies overall. Let's check. We have 3 IV and 3 medical supplies. We should think about introducing microweaver pretty soon so we can make all the different medical supply types. Let's go ahead and look at our chemical refinery because I think we can already make some of them. Yeah, we're already manufacturing some IV fluid, so that's okay. Okay, and now we can finally open this up and make this a double door. Then we just have to move this node as well. This could be like an emergency gas scrubber, this little compartment here. Okay. We could actually fit a power node in that corner. That'd be kind of cool. Except this door is kind of in the way, so we wouldn't be able to seal it off, which defeats the purpose of having a power node in the corner like that. Let's see. I'm gonna go ahead and place our weapons console, even though we don't have any weapons on board yet, because we will eventually. It doesn't fit opposite this console. I'm trying to think if I move it up there, it's not gonna fit either. Maybe I'll make this one square wider over here. Now we can move that wall back. Okay, so all this is going to move back a square. Oops. Didn't mean to do that. What if there's a hotkey for move, but I'm not sure if there is or not. Maybe let's just move the door and leave everything else where it is. So a little bit of a corner here. That's not going to work well. No, it won't. This is going to leave a blocked space on the other side. Okay, who else can we assign as a crew member on board the ship here? Catherine, Lenny, Hawkeye, and Woodrow. And then Azkov, Lauren, and Eden are on the away team. Let's try not to pick one of those guys if we can help it. We want somebody who's good at construction. I think Krista was not an away team member, if I remember correctly. Yeah, so let's move Krista over. She's also good at maintenance and logistics and ops, so she can be our ops person. That's pretty good. So Krista, you're now on the other ship here. And this was going to be our targeting jammer. We haven't finished researching the targeting jammer yet, so we don't have to wait on that. Let's put a research facility on the bridge of this ship here to speed up our work. It's going to be a temporary installation. A bridge seems like way larger than it has to be. I think we might shrink it a little bit in the final design. Although we could also have some comforts there, like jukeboxes and lights and things. That might be nice. Okay, there we have somebody on board here doing research, so that's pretty good. Let's move on to the next sector. And some more energy and carbon and stuff. What do I need from these guys? They have some ice I could buy, but I have 46 ice right now, so I don't really need to buy ice. I think we're basically okay. I was going to retire the stabilizer eventually. I'm debating whether I should do that now. I think I'll leave. It doesn't really hurt anything. I'll leave it there for now, because we don't need the extra system points yet. So right now we got 8 unused system points. Once we run out, then we'll think about demolishing that. It's kind of fun to watch our mining pods circle, taking turns docking to offload resources. Okay. We got 67% on the jammer. Waiting for one more pod to dock. There he goes. Okay, let's check out our derelicts here. So I'm thinking what we're going to do to wrap up. We're almost at the end of our playthrough here, or at least at the end of our first galaxy. I think what we're going to do to wrap up our playthrough with a bang is we're going to piss off the military alliance and maybe invade one of their bases in the last sector, or in the last couple sectors. Let's go ahead and put our turrets on the Auriga on red alert.
He's wet.
There's that Haas guy again. I did check my followers list this morning before I started the stream, by the way, and I didn't see any of those Haas guys on there, so I think Twitch is like detecting them and banning them somehow, or automatically removing them. Okay, we got a lot going on here. Let's go ahead and throw some missiles out there to help us out. Oh, look at all those eggs just disappear. I'd love to see that. I think we're going to start shooting over at this part of the nest as well a little bit. Spreading the love. Yeah, while we're shooting at that part of the nest, we can go clear this side over here. Be careful not to get caught in the blast area. There we go. And let's move our... I think we're done with the missiles at this point, actually. So we got a little bit of a head start using the missiles to clear eggs. We saw another big guy over there, so maybe we'll throw one more missile down after him. Hopefully we'll get a lucky hit. That's probably enough. I thought there was a big dude there. Did we kill him? Yeah, there he is. I was gonna say, I don't think the missiles would have killed him outright. There we go. Notice we put a bunch of holes in the wall here. Leonti, we have another ship that we can explore. We're gonna go back and rest, though, before we explore the second ship. Take all this stuff on board. Yeah, we teams on sleep, rotation, eating. I'm gonna assign them for like 3 hours bed rest. And then we're gonna go out again. Uberion. What do you have for me? You have food. I could buy food from you. You have energy blocks. Let's buy a couple more energy blocks because they're pretty cheap here, actually. Yeah, we're just gonna pay cash. They do an Asgoff. Maybe this guy to heal. Doesn't seem to be using the medbed. I guess somebody else is occupying it, maybe. Where's our medbed? Yes. Go to medbed. There he goes. Should get a bonus to healing when he's on the medbed, even if he, even if there's no medical supplies available. That's what we should buy. We should buy medical supplies. These guys have a couple. We'll take them. We don't need this guy to be on the turret all the time. Thomas, welcome aboard. What do you do? Botany, construction, industry, navigation. Oh, he's suicidal, so we have to give Thomas a little bit of extra schedule leeway. Let's make sure that he gets room to rest in the middle of his day here. It'll help mitigate debuffs and stuff like that. Okay, I think we're ready to check out our second derelict. Hopefully we haven't had too many alien eggs hatch while the crew is resting from the first action. We'll find out. Okay, we see a couple aliens here. There's one of the big guys is there. The nest is up there. We can see it through a window a little bit, so we can start bombarding it as we're on our way over there. Doesn't look like there's a very direct route. We've destroyed the Arcadia, that's okay. The missiles must have stopped when the Arcadia was destroyed. Let's fire one more. That was a little bit too close to our crew for comfort. Maybe let's not do that. I think our crew members actually got wounded a little bit. So that's the thing you have to watch out for when you're doing this missile strategy. Okay, we cleared the forward quarter. Alright, and we cleared the Arcadia. What do we got here? Some water, some nice advanced blocks, some meat, some energy cells. Still working on our targeting jammer research. Let's work on our crew quarters a little bit. We'll slow things down slightly so our crew can continue working and doing stuff while we're constructing. I think we want something like a... It'd be nice to have something like a 10 forward. I think we're gonna have something like that. You have like a little bit of a bar. Doesn't quite work that in that orientation. Maybe we'll have the bar up against the windows. There we go. Let's put the big window in front of the bar. And we'll probably put like an arcade machine or something here on the side. This can also be a window. And how's our temperature in here? 21, 10 degrees. Wow, our bridge is very cold. Yeah, let's fix that. So I'm going to put a thermal regulator in here with a sensor. And maybe another one in between the bridge stations. That should even things out a little bit. Yeah, we're done transferring everything from here. I'm really curious to see if the sensor and the targeting jammer are compatible with each other. I think they will be. So this could be like our scout ship for the moment. Also thinking I want to move this power node. Let's move over to this corner here. Only because I want the central corridor to be preserved. I want to have a double door here like there is everywhere else. I'm gonna have this go to here and then this go to there. This is gonna go to here. Let's do it this way. That's that'll do. Looks like I'm missing some power coverage here on the bridge. Let's put in another small node to handle that. Should be alright. Good. Looking forward to showing you guys the targeting jammer once its research is finished. ACS Sunspot, you got lots of medical supplies. Let's load up. I think that's pretty much obvious, the need for us to manufacture our own medical supplies, so maybe we don't even need to bother building a microweaver. Let's get some... I think, do we have a botanist on board the new ship? Let's check. So it's Pascal, Gwen, and Krista. Oh, I forgot this display is split up by ship, so we can just scroll to the bottom here. I don't have anybody who's a really good botanist. I want to move one botanist over from the main ship. Who are our botanists? William, Woodrow, Thomas. I think I'm gonna move Thomas over. He just joined the crew, so I know he's not on the away team. Where are we gonna put our botany beds? We didn't really leave room for that in the original design here. I'm thinking we can actually put some by the hyperdrive in the back here. A couple of them anyway. It's kind of a efficiency design. We could always build like outlying pylons if we need to add more hyperdrives without moving the grow beds. I don't like to put grow beds against the outside of the hull too much because of thermal radiation sectors, but let's see if we can manage with these. I think they'll be alright. And I think we're going to need more power coverage to cover those outlying little sections here. This is all in service of making sure that our 3 crew members on board the ship here have something to do. Mostly. Also provides us some redundancy. If one of our ships gets destroyed, it gives us a better chance of repairing it if we have a ship that's still functioning. Let's put some hull windows. I'll try to line them up with the grow beds nicely. Not that it really makes a difference, I don't think. So that means we're going to need some raw materials for growing stuff. We're going to increase the minimum amount of water that we have on board to 8. We also need some fertilizer on board. Let's make that 3. And then I think that's it. Okay, so let's do the easy crops over on this side. So potatoes, fruits, meat, seeds and nuts. And let's set a low threshold for these guys, like 5. Beautiful. Could also think about putting a little bit of a grow bed in the crew quarters section here. Crew beds do provide comfort. I think I would want to move this. Let's move this over a little bit. I'm gonna move this over, and then we're gonna provide another one down here. And it'll give us enough room to put another 3x1. Yeah, there we go. That can be like our crew's personal garden. Okay, targeting jammer research is online. I'm excited to show you guys this. We'll get to that in just a minute, though. First, we're going to pick another research. I think we have been wanting a microweaver and fibers. I also want to do some salvage robots, maybe. Let's do the microweaver and fibers first. I think we need medical supply production. Okay, so here we go. Okay, we got power here, and we got some more vegetables here. Let's grow some more meat and some more seeds and nuts in the crew quarters. Yeah, let's check our comfort level now. Oh, it's so comfortable in here. Look at that. They really like the plants. We got some extra light for the plants as well, coming from the windows outside. It's very nice, solid green all the way around. Very cool. And let's put another thermal regulator in here. Okay, next sector. Oh, let's build our targeting jammer. I made this section a little bit on the small side. I think I'm going to expand this one more so that we can put in a small storage near it. Let's go ahead and do that before we move to another sector. Wait for the shuttles to finish what they're doing on their current route. There we go. Low end energium and hull blocks. I think it's this shuttle this ship that's low, right? We don't need notifications for that. I'm gonna turn that off. I thought I did that earlier. I don't care when the Melita is out of hull blocks. I do want to show them when they're 0. I don't know if we checked this derelict out yet. I'm gonna check that if we didn't. And then I think I'm gonna swing through and get carbon on the way back. No, we haven't checked these out yet. I guess we'll do the nearer one first. Don't see any creep yet. there is nest that's going to be done at the end here. It doesn't look like there is, though. Nope. So let's actually load directly back into the shuttles, since we didn't really get any exhaustion or injury here, and go back over to the other derelict. Oh, we found some energy crystals. That's a good find. Since we have a third shuttle in our fleet now, the third shuttle can already start unloading, where we're going and working on the second derelict. I somehow managed to disembark everybody with one click. I don't know how I did that. Let's get these guys over here. Looks like that might be it. Alright. Medusa has been explored. How am I gonna link this into my grid? Let's do it like that. Okay, we have our targeting jammer online. So targeting jammer is a defensive system. It's operated from the shield console. And when the targeting jammer is active, there's a crew member stationed at the shield console at all times who's constantly operating the jammer. So Gwen is going to be our targeting jammer operator, and she's charging the jammer, running it. Pascal's taking a turn now. You can see that they're running the jammer 24/7. What the jammer does is it prevents enemy ships from firing at my ship at all, but it also prevents my ship from firing at enemy ships. I'm curious to see whether the sensor will still work when the jammer is active. If it doesn't, we're going to scrap the jammer after our next combat here. Jammers are great for small ships that are built for a single purpose, like if you want to build a dedicated mining ship or something like that, and you don't want to spend a lot of resources putting defenses on your ship. They're really good for making ships that are basically non-combatant ships that are not intended to be involved in military engagements. Let's get some... Oh, we're trying to get the medical technology right, so let's get the microweaver online. I'm going to need some more grow bed capacity at some point here to grow fibers. Where are we going to put that is the question. It's like little tiny spaces where we could try to squeeze things in, but I think it makes more sense for us to build a new hull area. I'm sure there's some optimization somehow that we could do to make this more efficient. These areas could be a possibility. You could put some grow beds here next to the airlocks. I like that idea. On a small ship in the early game, you don't want to put grow beds near the airlocks because you want to have the option of venting the airlock to control a fire. But this ship is of such a size that I don't think we really have to worry about that kind of thing anymore. Let's see. We do want to keep it compartmentalized, though. So this will give us another room to make another grow bed here, and another smaller grow bed here. I'm gonna move this thermal regulator. Why did Connor get stuck in here? Sorry, Connor. There we go. Okay. I'm going to dismantle a couple of these things, actually. Do a little bit of a shuffle. You know, dismantle this guy as well. So what I want to do is be able to put a robot all along that wall like this. Another one all along this wall next to storage like this. And then I'll seal that off. And then we'll seal this off. So we're combining these two compartments, which is okay. The only thing is it's going to be a little bit hot in here for the Grobet's comfort whenever the optronics fabricator is running. So we're going to want to put some extra thermal regulation in there to handle that. Okay, let's have two of these be fiber beds. I don't need that many fibers, I think. And then we'll do the same thing on the other side here. Let's just make this one fiber bed, actually. Why do I have a blocked area here? Let's move this. Okay, so now, what do we have excess food? We have excess fruit. And that's it, we're out of everything else. So let's grow some vegetables here. And let's just grow vegetable. And then maybe over here we'll do meat. Seeds and nuts. Okay, the microweaver is completed. We're gonna go for the salvage robot next. Let's get into another space battle because I want to show the jammer and the scanner in action. Where can we go here? We're gonna quickly scoop up this carbon on the way out of the sector. I think I'm going to make a cut here, again, for my YouTube channel. This is going to be the end of my segment on building a new ship from scratch. Next time we're going to talk about using the targeting jammer, and we're going to talk about using the sensors. Thanks for watching in the meantime. So just making a quick cut here, and then we'll continue on.